Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and you have found the latest in everything cool every single day. We've got a great episode of EP Live for you today, but this one is going out to Jason Mann, who I continually impress with my takes on how closely they align with his. He liked my The Last Jedi review for the 4K Blu-ray, which has had a lot of conversation back and forth. I mean, that is a movie that is so divisive, and it gets us talking about it, and I'm not going to talk about it right now, though, because we've got lots of other things to talk about, including Jason Mann's rundown. Now, it looks like it really is about time for Harrison Ford to hang up his whip and fedora. Steven Spielberg says that the upcoming 5th Indiana Jones movie will be the last one for star Harrison Ford. Speaking with the British tabloid The Sun, Spielberg says that he's pretty sure that this will be Ford's final movie, but adds that the franchise will continue after that with a new actor in the role. As for who might play the new version of Indy, Spielberg speculates that they might get a female to play the lead, although it's too early to know for sure. The next Indy movie is slated to hit theaters in 2020 and will be Spielberg's next directorial effort after Ready Player One has landed, and that has landed. Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on with Steven Spielberg right there talking about a female Indiana Jones. We have Tomb Raider, we have Lara Croft. It would be crazy for them to say, well, we need another woman adventurer thing. I like the idea of recasting Indiana Jones once it makes sense. I think that the character does have the ability to be kind of a James Bond for a time and for an era. I love the period setting. I think it's really important for whoever picks up the whip and whoever is behind the camera to go on location and do their best to kind of honor different cultures around the world and give us a real sense of traveling to these different places. I think that's incredibly important. But I don't think that we should just be changing the character to a woman for just a out of the blue kind of reason. I think the character is pretty solid as this male figure, and I think maybe we do something with Marion Ravenwood. I think she's an incredible character, and maybe we see more with her and more of her adventures. Yeah, this is kind of weird. For Spielberg to come out and say stuff like that, I think it's okay that we are starting to see that this will be Harrison Ford's last movie. I am all right with that, everybody, but they just got to make it a great movie that everybody is into. No more divisiveness with our beloved franchises, okay? Now, speaking of beloved franchises, Activision has finally announced one of the worst-kept secrets in gaming. After months of rumors, the 20th anniversary Spyro Reignited Trilogy has finally been officially announced. As expected, it's a remastered version of the first 3 games in the series, similar to the recent Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy, with all 3 games being rebuilt from the ground up with new HD graphics for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. That means this will be the first time that these 3 games will be released on a non-PlayStation platform. Development is being handled by Activision subsidiary Toys for Bob, amazing, which previously worked on the Spyro spin-off series Skylanders. Although it's unclear if original developer Insomniac Games is involved, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy lands September 21st. Absolutely, Insomniac is involved. This is their beloved creation, and not only is Insomniac one of the greatest independent developers on Earth, but they're also beloved across the industry, and they have deep roots and connections and friendships all across the business. And so, yes, my guess is, and Toys for Bob is one of the their most respected developers out there as well. They've been making games for a long time, and they're really well known for Skylanders, but they've done lots of other great things, and they make great games. So this is a marriage made in heaven, and hopefully they do an even better job than Vicarious Visions did with the Insane Trilogy. I love these games. They do stand the test of time, but they would benefit greatly from some updates. I'm very much looking forward to this. It's weird that we're not reporting Switch news for the Spyro series, because they would be perfect on the Switch. I'm sure we will, though, very soon. All right, let's move on. The World of Warcraft is about to get a lot bigger this summer. Blizzard has announced that the hit MMO's 7th expansion, Battle for Azeroth, will star Harrison Ford. No, I'm just kidding. Will land on August 14th, almost 2 years after the last expansion arrived. First announced last November during BlizzCon, the Battle for Azeroth will give players not 1, but 2 new continents to explore, complete with new races, quests, dungeons, raid zones, an increased level cap, and best of all, a new 20-player co-op PvE mode mode called Warfronts, which harkens back to the RTS-style gameplay of classic Warcraft games. That is awesome. World of Warcraft was first released in 2004, and despite a dip in popularity, it's still going strong, and Blizzard plans to continue supporting it well into the future. Bravo, Blizzard! That is amazing. Who would have thought that, 14 years later, we'd be talking about expansions for World of Warcraft? They clearly had this massive success that mattered to so many people, and they had all of these celebrities doing ads and all that. Remember all that? But they have made content that has made people go back to it, and they helped to build a community, and they kind of set the tone, and nobody's been able to come close to what these guys have done. Incredible. I don't have like a tiny bit of time to go back and try to re-explore some of the World of Warcraft stuff. That world must be so massive. I can't imagine what it's like for somebody new to jump in and like, oh, where did everybody go? Where is everybody? I would imagine that it would just be so intimidating, but so cool, and I'm so impressed by Blizzard and what they've done. And I know, I'm sure we've got WoW diehards that are watching this either in live form right now or in our archive that are very excited they're going to be playing some more WoW this summer. So congrats to everybody there. The 2016 mystery exploration game Firewatch is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Developer Campo Santo says that they're porting the entire original game to the Nintendo platform and are working to make sure it will run just as smoothly as it does on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. They also say that they plan to throw in a few surprises. Mario hats for everybody, I think. But haven't said what those surprises might be. It's set to arrive this spring, although a precise release date hasn't been named. In other indie news, the survival game Don't Starve, first announced to be getting a Switch version earlier this year, is now slated to hit the system on April 12th, so it's coming up very quickly. This is what I'm going to be talking about today, this idea that the Switch is an incredible receptacle for lots of great indie content. And I think it is this idea that you can take these indie games, which don't all have the the most robust engines and all of the AAA horsepower that could make something on the Switch chug a little, like we saw with Doom. It's more about these core cool experiences that are tuned to run on lots of different machines, and now you can bring them everywhere with you. And I've got some to review today, but also I want to talk about some of these indies out there. I'm just so happy for Campo Santo to be that successful with Firewatch. It's an unbelievable game. I'm not going to talk about it at all. I'm not going to give you or spoil anything about it. It made me cry, though, and it's a very, very beautifully crafted experience. And if you've been waiting to play this on your Switch, I'm happy for you, and you're going to have a very good time. And I'm very curious to hear people's thoughts on that. So comment below, comment in our live chat there. If you've played Firewatch, I want to know what you thought of the game. And also, give us questions and comments at the end of EP Live. We'll also be doing our Let's Play and chat, and we'll get into it with everybody, okay? Now, following up on the success of Ready Player One, another video game-inspired tale might be speeding back to Earth. This is incredible news. It looks like a remake of the 1984 sci-fi movie The Last Starfighter is on the way. Rogue One screenwriter Gary Whitta has tweeted out concept art for what appears to be a new take on the classic film, saying that the art is a preview of something he's working on with the original film screenwriter Jonathan Butel, or Betul. I've never said his name out loud. Betul? This seems to indicate that Whitta is writing a new Last Starfighter, although no official announcements have been made. The original film told the story of a young video game player who uses his gaming skills to fight real-life aliens in an outer space war, and it was one of the first big movies to make use of computer animation. Incidentally, that's my origin story as well, and that's how I got to be on EP. It wasn't a huge hit when it was first released, but has developed a cult following over the years. Well, I'll tell you what, I paid my ticket price. I bought a ticket to see that movie in the theater, and it blew my little mind. It was incredible. I remember digging everything about it, including the freaky alien makeup that they had on the character. He was awesome, and it all seemed very plausible to me as a video game fanatic kid. I was just like, yeah, okay, this makes total sense. Of course, they're going to be training on video game machines, and that's exactly what's happened for the U.S. military. Now, everybody that's piloting a drone in real life missions has some video game skills, which is crazy. I am so psyched about this, and I'm so proud and happy for Gary Whitta. I've known Gary for a long time. He's been on EP before, and he's obviously making huge waves out there in in all kinds of media, because he writes for Rebels. He's writing a Star Wars, the comic version of The Last Jedi. He's written for Telltale Games. He's had his own comic series out there. And he did an amazing job with Rogue One. He's a very cool writer, but he comes from video games. He used to be an editor at PC Gamer, and he used to talk about video games. He used to nerd out with games just like us, and he's still a huge player as well. Follow him on Twitter. I think he's just at Gary Whitta. He's a very interesting dude. And please make this movie happen. I think that's an awesome idea. It's going to be interesting to see how that and Ernie Klein's Armada movie comes together, because that's also about a video game training a warrior at the same time. Yeah, they're supposed to be coming out at the same time too, so we'll see how that works.